An LAPD officer accused of secretly recording other officers, allegedly making racist, sexist, and homophobic remarks while at work, has now pleaded not guilty to felony charges. That officer was accused of breaking the law when he made those recordings and gave them to internal affairs investigators.
NBC4 investigative reporter Eric Leonard has been following this case, and he joins us now live from the newsroom with an update for us. Eric.
Well, this officer faces an extremely serious set of charges here that could even lead to prison time if there's a conviction. His defense lawyer says this prosecution is abusive and an overreach, and he says the officer intends to fight the charges. This is LAPD officer Daniel Flores in arraignment court in downtown L.A., entering not guilty pleas to 16 counts of eavesdropping or recording of confidential communications. His defense attorney, Alan Jackson, says Flores is being prosecuted for what the public would hope an officer with integrity would do: document and report misconduct.
The prosecution of my client, Daniel Flores, sends a really scary message, and that message is, if you expose racism and sexism and bigotry and misogyny and bias within the walls of the LAPD, then you're going to be the one that's frog marched into court.
Flores was working at the LAPD's Recruitment and Employment Division inside this city personnel building in downtown when he says a new supervisor and colleagues would regularly make racist and other remarks at work. The LAPD unit helps to evaluate candidates to hire as police officers. According to a lawsuit Flores filed against the city in June, he heard repeated derogatory statements towards himself and others based on race, national origin, gender, and sexual orientation, and provided some of the recordings to Internal Affairs. L.A. County District Attorney Nathan Hochman says the LAPD acted on the complaint, but also found the way Flores did it broke the law.
He had a number of legitimate avenues to go through. The one thing he can't do, especially as a police officer, is violate the law to do this.
According to a case brief filed by the DA's office, Flores presented the recordings anonymously and didn't cooperate with the internal investigation. It says Flores edited some of the recordings to conceal his own comments and responses and allegedly made the recordings to assist with his lawsuit. LAPD Chief Jim McDonnell said last week Flores' complaint was taken seriously and 18 officers were identified on the recordings. Of those, 17 faced some kind of internal penalty.
Nobody got a pass, and that everybody was very closely investigated and evaluated based on the evidence that we have.
L.A. Mayor Karen Bass weighed in last week saying that the charges send the wrong message, that calling out egregious behavior could land you in prison, something Flores' defense attorney says is just what happened here.
He did exactly that which we would expect him to do as an officer of the law, as a peace officer. And yet he's the one in court? Makes no sense. It's abusive.
The police chief says the entire recruitment office was shut down while this was being investigated, but exactly what happened to these other officers captured in the recordings isn't known. Because of California's strict police confidentiality laws, Officer Flores is set to return to court in September. I'm investigative reporter Eric Leonard, NBC4 News.